the lawyers are picking holes in the Anom sting.
Yeah, but instructively, they aren't saying these bikies and gangsters didn't plot the wholesale importation and distribution of the narcotics responsible for societal destruction. They're just saying the cops might not have properly signed the paperwork before they heard the bikies and gangsters plot the wholesale importation and distribution of the narcotics responsible for societal destruction.
Do you understand?
It's all about the technicalities.
Yeah, taxes and annoying lawyers are the prices we pay for a civilised society.
Damn, man, that shit is expensive.
There are going to be all sorts of areas for barristers to test when they pull apart Operation Ironside, which is the name of the police operation launched after the Anom app went live. Ironside was probably authorised under Australia's telecommunications laws. That's a Commonwealth issue. We're all lauding outgoing Telstra boss Andy Penn for rescuing the company. But it's pretty clear a lot of the fat profits over the past few years probably came from conversations like this one.
20 million in 20.
20 million in 20s.
And 10 million in 10.
And 10 million in 10s. You want any fives with that?
A lot of the crims charged were arrested for violations of state law. And any time you have a case that sees federal and state law rubbing against each other, it's a problem. Throw an international law over the top and it's a shit mess.
Yeah, and the whole thing sounds like a Hollywood script.
Part Tarantino, part Guy Ritchie.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think the cops ever thought this thing would actually work, to be honest. It's quite absurd when you break it down. Imagine you're the federal prosecutor that works with the AFP. A cop walks in your office and says he has a theory that the global drug trade is being orchestrated by traditional Italian mafia groups we all thought existed only in the mind of Martin Scorsese.
Never rat on your friends. And always keep your mouth shut.
Who have quietly maintained deep, enduring commercial relationships with the Mexican and Southeast Asian cartels responsible for creating the bulk of the world's cocaine.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
While forging new ties with dozens of outlaw motorcycle gangs which, far from being underworld rivals, are actually collaborating to ensure economies of scale when they distribute the drugs around the world.
We're a trafficking blow.
And this cop tells you that to prove this international conspiracy exists, police forces from around the world intend to impersonate the creator of an extraordinary new messaging encryption service.
What happened? Did it work?
And then sell that service to the mafia, cartel heads and bikie gang presidents by telling them it's an unbreakable mode of communication. When in actual fact, it's being monitored 24 hours a day by the FBI and Australian Federal Police, who are focused for years on compiling a dossier of information about how drugs are moved around the world and where the profits are distributed.
All that's missing is the secret lair.
And sharks with
frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
It reminds me of this one. Who would ever have thought they would actually turn a lawyer that was inside Melbourne's gangland killings? They were so preoccupied with working out whether they could.
They didn't stop to think if they should.
It's whether the courts agree the means justifies the end.
And it may come down to the legalities of entrapment.
We're ready.
And whether the police themselves have committed an offence while investigating a crime. That's one thing the lawyers will definitely be looking into.
There's a lot at stake.
4,000 police officers in Australia make 224 arrests in a coordinated swoop on alleged criminals in 19 other countries. 383 people subsequently charged, with 2,340 offences in Australia alone. We had 6.3 tonnes of drugs impounded along with 69 firearms and $55 million in cash in Australia alone, more than 700 alleged offenders charged around the world and 65 tonnes of drugs seized.
We could see crims extradited from all over the place.
Can you use your $50 Qantas voucher for legal counsel? And when they get here and they're waiting for their case to come up, they can enjoy the many tourism opportunities available in Western Australia.
If only they knew what they were.
Well, local taxpayers woke up today to discover they'd spent $2 million on a new tourism campaign. But nobody will ever see it because apparently it looked like something that was directed by Borat.
It's nice.
And made the Love Your Perth slogan from 1985 look positively cutting edge. The bosses at Tourism WA are now being asked to explain what went wrong. News of the $2 million flop came as Tourism WA Managing Director Carolyn Turnbull told an industry event in Las Vegas that WA is about to unleash a brand new look. Turnbull told delegates The new campaign would completely reframe what WA has to offer and will totally redefine our destination for the years to come. Big spending tourists will be lured west on the promise that well-known and well-trodden attractions in the east are inferior to our ancient tracks that take visitors on new, unforgettable journeys.
And Roger Cook's taking the bull by the horns.
The government clearly thinks it's going to work because it's spending $4 million over the next 2 years developing workforce skills for the soon-to-be gangbusters tourism and hospitality industries. Roger being the guy who couldn't get qualified staff in our EDs when he was health minister, so hopefully he's better at attracting dish pigs. He's also hoping to lure workers from interstate and New Zealand. I hope that as well as being able to serve drinks, they can build a house because there's nowhere for them to live when they get here.
After all, summertime is all about spending time on your dick.
That campaign's called Discover the Other Side. Hopefully not the dark one. I'm Ben Harvey. For more update, click the subscribe button below.